The world's largest trade pact takes effect in the country today. The Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership removes tariffs on 90% of imported goods among signatory nations within 20 years. RCEP covers the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, Australia, China, Japan, New Zealand, and South Korea. The government stresses safeguards are in place against possible spikes in imports due to this deal. And joining us now on The Final Word is no less than the Trade Secretary himself. He joins us live in the studio, Secretary Alfredo Pascual. Secretary, great to have you with us on The Final Word.
Thank you, Rico, for inviting me.
All right. First of all, no turning back. We have to embrace RCEP. What are the benefits for the Filipino people, Secretary?
Well, the benefit is that we'll be able to expand the market of our products. Okay? We'll be able to attract foreign investment. Those who will locate in the Philippines to be able to access the member countries of RCEP. So that means it's a mechanism that will help us expand our economy. And that means more jobs, higher income.
More jobs, increased incomes, better lives for our kababayans, Secretary Pascual. But when will the ordinary Filipino feel the real impact of RCEP?
Well, RCEP is not a magic pill, you know. We need to work hard to be able to realize the gains being offered to us, being the potential gains in RCEP. The ordinary Filipinos will feel this when jobs are being created and they are getting employment. They will feel it when there will be more goods coming into the country.
And goods also going out, being
exported. While we're counterbalancing it with goods going out. So, in other words, it's expansion, you know. Our producer of packaged food, for example, if it's just selling in its locality, it's a small market, it can go national, and that's one of the tasks we're doing in DTI, helping them reach the national market. But even bigger market, you know, if we can get this packaged food to countries outside the Philippines.
Apart from packaged foods, which other products manufactured and raised here in the Philippines can find and seek markets overseas which are part of RCEP?
Well, based on the experience of Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, I looked them up, you know, because they were ahead of us for more than a year. The initial impact has been the increase in the export of agricultural products such as vegetables, fruits, and nuts. Durian in particular, to China. You know, China is a big consumer market. Also, processed foods. Okay, and then that's on the agriculture and food sector. On the non-agriculture sector, there is the immediate potential for electronics, machineries, and other types of equipment.
This trade arrangement, Secretary, removes tariffs on 90% of imported goods among signatory nations. But on the flip side, could we be a dumping ground for these imports from the other RCEP countries?
Well, right now we're experiencing that, you know, even without RCEP. But yes, if we are not able to bring our producers here, our companies here in the Philippines to become competitive, that could happen. It's okay to have a lot of imported goods if we can counterbalance that with export. But assuming the exports coming in are causing injury to our industries which are producing the same stuff, then we have remedies available to us under WTO and under RCEP itself, the usual safeguard measures, meaning we can stop the reduction in tariff for those goods where the commitment in reduction in tariff is over 15 to 20 years, or even raise tariff, you know, to provide that protection to the local industry.
Because, Secretary, during the debates on the potential ratification of RCEP, especially during the time of President Duterte and President Marcos, the agricultural stakeholders have been the staunchest opponents of this RCEP ratification. And there remains a lot of problems to address in agriculture, like smuggling and under-implementation of programs. What are the safeguards in place for our farmers and for our fisher folks?
You'll notice that their concern has no relation with RCEP. Smuggling is not related to smuggling. Oh, it's not related to RCEP. In fact, the opposition from the agricultural sector, my sense is that it's happening because they're making use of the RCEP as a platform for getting the government to be more serious in committing to the development of the agricultural sector. Now, with respect to the impact of RCEP on agriculture for the sensitive crops that we produce, like rice or swine meat, and there's a long list of that. I have here 22 items which are excluded from the tariff negotiation. In other words, for these 22 items of agricultural products, their tariff protection will stay indefinitely.
And of course, Secretary, over the past year, there have always been problems with rising prices of basic goods, from onions to eggs to sugar and rice. With RCEP, will this bring down prices to more manageable levels and affordable levels for our kababayans?
Well, maybe RCEP is not the direct solution because, in fact, the tariff for rice and onions that you mentioned will remain at the pre-RCEP level and will remain there indefinitely. They're excluded from the concessions, tariff concessions. So we'll have to address the inflation some other way with respect to those items. But for other items, because of reduction in tariff, for example, garments, now we'll be able to bring in textile. We are not producing much textile, you know. We are only producing a native cloth. So to be able to make garments, we need to import textile. We'll be able to bring in textile at tariff-free, so that will reduce the cost of textile. But the more important benefit is that because RCEP is not all tariff, you know, there's also other regulations or rules that are conducive to promoting trade. Like for garments, if we are to export to Japan garments made in the Philippines, you have to show that there is local content of at least 40%. But since we don't produce textile, it's very difficult for us to meet that local content. So we can import from other RCEP countries the textile, make the garments here, even if we just put in labor initially, and export to Japan, and the garments will enjoy duty-free entry to Japan.
Secretary, what about the micro, small, and medium enterprises, which comprises a big bulk, a backbone of the economy? How will RCEP, this trade arrangement, help them?
Well, again, I was talking of packaged foods. These are products that are being done by small businesses in different localities, and this the main clientele, these MSMEs are the main clientele of DTI for industry development. Quite apart from the large industries that we are trying to bring into the country. So we will support them, provide them all the needed equipment through the. You remember there is this shared services facilities bill that's now pending in our legislature. Now, we have been providing this shared services facility to different MSMEs, and in that process, they're able to improve the packaging of their products and also the quality. Now, we can also introduce innovation, like rather than producing banana chips, they can produce banana powder, which has a broader application and a large export market. So, through the assistance of DTI, we'll be able to help MSMEs gain entry into the export market. And quite apart from the direct support, we are going to undertake an international trade education and advocacy campaign. And the main targets of this are the MSMEs.
But Secretary, I mean, RCEP has taken effect today. It's still quite a big idea and how Filipinos will benefit in general. But has the Department of Trade and Industry come up with some hard numbers in terms of revenues, income, in dollars and pesos, how much this could really boost the Philippine economy?
There were studies made earlier by economists, and we are still banking on those studies on how much contribution RCEP will bring to the economy. They were talking of increases in say GDP of so much certain percentage increase.
Will it boost our economy by a full percent, half a percent?
Around I think the figure I saw was initially less than 1%. Okay? But the export volume will definitely increase. Of course, possibly the import as well, so they will counterbalance.
Well, the exports are really very important because currently we're in a trade deficit with many of our trading partners. We really have to narrow that deficit.
Yes.
But what about the liberalization of some economic laws from the Public Services Act, the Foreign Investments Act, the Retail Trade Liberalization Act, and the Renewables Act, plus RCEP? How will this really boost?
Yeah, these are complementary regulatory and legal reforms for a company located in a partner RCEP country that we locate in the Philippines. Our having joined RCEP will give them a better assurance of our commitment to investments into the Philippines. Because RCEP is an international treaty, so it provides a more permanent platform for investments and trade. So somebody, say a company in Japan, retailer in Japan coming in under the liberalized the Retail Trade Act, with the RCEP, they have a greater assurance that our respect for investments will be assured because it's an international treaty.
Keeping our fingers crossed that this trade arrangement will give more jobs, will increase incomes, and improve the lives of our kababayans. Thank you so much for joining us on The Final Word. Trade and Industry Secretary Alfredo
You're
Pascual.
most welcome, Rico.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Thank you so much.